Hello, my friends. So, I just had this random, spike of energy, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a story time. Because I fucking love story times. I love watching story times. I love telling stories. However, this is not the ideal placement for a story time because one, it is hot as balls, and two, this is literally balancing on a cactus. Okay, so I'ma get spiked and I'ma melt. Okay, it is literally 115 degrees and my poor little pug is sitting next to me and I'm just like, girl, go inside. It's too hot. You can't even breathe. Baby girl, you can go inside. You don't have to hang out with me. It's way too hot for even a moi. Okay, so today's story, and my first story ever, is going to be about the time that I had literally all of my belongings stolen and I had nothing. Literally nothing. So, it was while I was abroad. Alrighty. So basically, whenever I travel with one backpack as a travel, but then when I move, I travel with just one suitcase. So they call me the one suitcase wonder. And by they, I mean me, right now. Basically, I was living in Korea back in the day. Okay, actually, let's start over. Take you to the year 2017. The year. So I had a month off for work. Actually, it was about a month and a half because I got quite lucky for the December holiday. Oh my gosh, there are so many ants. I had a month and a half off. And so for one of the months, I wanted to go to Taiwan. So I had planned to go to Taiwan for roughly a month. Absolutely phenomenal experience despite what happened. But it was literally amazing. I had this Taiwanese love story. Which I'll get into one day probably. I don't have any regrets in life, but I do regret the fact that I ruined that like everything else. Well, merp. That's another story for another time. So, how my trip was most of it was traveling with this boy, but my plan had been to go from Taipei in the north to Kaohsiung in the south. But then this little love story kind of switched it up, so I ended up going back to Taipei to see him, and then was going to take a train directly from Taipei all the way down to Kaohsiung. So I had bought a train ticket that was direct, and it was one of the express ones, so it was supposed to get me there in about an hour, I believe. So on the day that I was going to leave, he dropped me off at the train station. I wish he would have come with. But anyway, so while I was there, I got on the wrong train. Okay, so I was confused as fuck. So I could not for the life of me figure out, for one, which train I was supposed to get on. But then also, at Taipei, Maine, there are so many different platforms. And I was just, I think I might be retarded. I just genuinely could not figure out which platform I needed to get on. So I saw a train. Well, I saw the two-sided platform, and I knew I was in the right spot. It was either I would get on the left train or the right train. The correct train or the left train. But I didn't get on the right train, that's for sure. So one of the trains was going south to north, meaning that it was going to go to Keelung area next. And then the other train was going south, which is the one I wanted to go on. But I got on the one that was going north, and I didn't know this. When I got on the train, I stayed on the train, and I felt weird. I felt like it wasn't right. Because one, I had a seat. And when I got on the train, someone else was in that seat. And then I was like, hey, I'm sorry, I think this is my seat. And then she was like, no, this is definitely my seat. So she showed me her ticket, and I showed her my ticket, and we both had the same seat. So we were like, what do we do? Well, I don't mind, I'll just stand. So I stood up and I waited, and then they said, oh man, I don't even know what station they said, but they said the next station, and I was like, well, that doesn't sound right, because I should only have one other stop in Taiwan. So why am I stopping here? That's weird. So after I checked my Google Maps, I put my GPS on, I noticed that I was definitely north of Taipei. So I booked off the train. Like, I fucking jumped off. Like, right when it stopped and the doors opened, I jumped out, and I was frantic because I was like, oh shit, like, I didn't learn any Mandarin, so I don't know how I'm going to articulate this to the worker. And so I saw a girl who was about like maybe 5 years older than me. So I was 22, and she was maybe like 27. Like, she was in her 20s, her late 20s. And I like walked up to her and I was like, hey, I'm so sorry, do you speak English? Like, I have a question, I'm really sorry. And she was like, yeah, I do speak English. Like, what's wrong? And I was like, okay, so I definitely got on the wrong train. My ticket is for Kaohsiung. It's a direct train. Like, I need to get on the correct train somehow, and I really don't know what to do at this point. Like, do I need to buy a whole new ticket? It was so expensive. Like, what do I do? So she was like, oh my god, okay, let's go together. I'll take you over there. I'll take you to the worker. And she was like, on our way there, she was like, okay, so this is really weird and very coincidental, but like, I think there's a spirit. I'm Buddhist, by the way, and I think there's a spirit watching over you, because today, I'm just gonna be her. Today is the first day I have ever left my house early. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, well, today, I don't know, like, I just got ready quicker, and then I had 10 minutes left over. So I was like, I think I'll just go on the train. This is so unlike me, because normally I'll stay home and I'll just kind of like relax for those 10 minutes. But today I just felt something, like something told me I needed to go. And what a coincidence that you're here. The only day that I leave early, you're here. And I was just like flabbergasted, first of all, because that is a wild coincidence. Like, of all the times for her to leave early, it's the day that there was someone that needed help, and someone that was a foreigner that needed help. So, wow, Buddha does look out for you. So she explains it to the man that I had gotten on the wrong train and that I needed a new ticket to go to Kaohsiung from where we were. And then he informed me that there were no more express trains. Oh my gosh. There were only slow trains. So instead of taking an hour and a half, it was going to take, I forgot, like 4.5 to 6 hours. It was a really long time. And then he also informed me that the next one, and the only one remaining, was one for, I had to stand. So the whole time I had to stand. And he was like, but honestly, don't worry. When people get off the train, well, this is what she translated. When people get off the train, you can just take their spot and sit down if you'd like. My poor dog is so hot. Peanut, go inside. Oh my gosh, I don't want her to hang out here. Sorry, I keep getting distracted because she's just like panting like crazy, like Bubby. Peanut, go inside. Go inside. Okay, so she told me that I was gonna be standing, but if anybody got up, I can just take their spot. So I was like, okay, I'm banking on that. I'll just bank on the idea that I'll be able to sit down. But if not, that's fine, whatever. Extra fitness, I guess. Fitness, yeah. So I get on the train and I'm just standing, waddling around, just waiting, you know, looking at my phone, doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. So mind you, at this point, I am just carrying my one backpacking backpack, because that is literally all I own. The only things that were at my house were like shampoo and conditioner. So really everything I owned was in this bag. And I'll just give you a rundown of the things I own. I own like 14 pairs of underwear, 2 pairs of shorts, 2 jeans, and just like a plethora of an assortment of different tops. I also have like skirts, but that was it. Like, that was all I brought. And then my 1 pair of shoes that I was going to wear the whole time. I really don't care about looking nice. It's just not something I care about. And I brought my camera, my passport, obviously my wallet with all my identification, and my credit cards from America and from Korea. I had my SIM cards in there, my camera, like all my camera gear, and I believe that was it. That sounds like it's it. And then my toothbrush and stuff. Peanut, go inside, baby. Go inside. It's okay. Go inside. Go inside. Oh my gosh. God, why is she outside? It's so hot. She just always wants to be with me. Okay, so I had all my stuff in that backpack, and oh my God, it really sucks. So I saw someone get up, and I had my backpack above me. So where I was standing at the back of the car, of that particular car, and I put my backpack on the top where everyone else's backpacks were. And then I saw her get up, and she was in about the 2nd seat from the back. By the way, at this point we were halfway through Taiwan, so I had already stood up. I think I was either in Tainan or Taichung. I forgot. it was Tainan. Well, it definitely wasn't Taichung yet. So it was the one above Taichung. God, where was I? Whatever. Purgatory to the story. So, I looked, my backpack was there, and she was just like 2 seats behind where I was standing. So I got up and I went and I took her spot after she had gotten up. And then I just sat in this seat thinking that, sorry, there was a fly, thinking that it was going to be fine and everything's okay. And I'm sitting there, an hour passes, 2 hours pass, and then I hear, next stop, Taichung, and I turn around. Oh, it sucks. It was a very stressful moment of my life, I'm not gonna lie. And I turned around and my backpack was gone. And when I was sitting there, I realized like that I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. All of my stuff is in that bag. My flight is in 3 days. It was Friday and my flight was Sunday. I was like, my flight is in 3 days. My passport's in there. Everything I own is in that backpack. Everything I own is in a backpack that was just stolen from me. I lost it. I literally lost it. I was ugly crying, freaking out. I started running through all the cars to see if my backpack was put somewhere else. I was hysterical. Like really, really. There's no other word to describe it. I was hysterical. So one of the cops one of the train security comes up to me and he's like, or what's wrong, but in Chinese, in Mandarin, and I couldn't explain. And so a girl got up and she was like, hey, I speak a little English, what's wrong? And I was like, my backpack was stolen. And I don't think that they understood the magnitude of what that statement meant, because they were kind of just like, oh, well, what's in your backpack? Like your school stuff? Are you a student? And I was like, no, everything I own is in that backpack. My money, my credit cards, my identification, all the clothes that I own, my camera, my passport, my plane tickets, everything that I own is in that backpack. And so she didn't know how to translate that. She didn't understand what that could mean for somebody. So she tells him, and they immediately, when she tells him, he goes, what? And like, okay, so this is the first time ever, they stopped the train. Now this is Taiwan. Taiwanese trains don't stop. They don't stop. They're like Japanese trains. They just keep going. They're so efficient. They're always on time. But he stopped the train. He contacted them and he was like told them that a foreigner has lost her stuff, and that we can't find it. We had gone up and down all the carts over and over and over. Nobody saw my bag. Nobody had it. So we thought someone just picked it up and took it and left. And that was just what we thought. So we stopped in Taichung because that was like the next stop, and so that's where they stopped the train. And after they locked all the doors and checked all the things, all the cars, to see if my bag was in any of them, we realized it was not. So at Taichung, so we had been stopped for about 15 minutes, and then they just opened the door and there was like a group of police waiting. I went out to talk to them. The train was waiting for me still, so I still get back on this train because I need to go to Kaohsiung, which is where I'm going to file all the reports, because that's the only place with an embassy, because I had to report my passport stolen. But it was a national holiday. Oh my god. Okay, so the national holiday was actually the following day, so it gets crazy. More coincidental. So the cops are there and they want a full description in Taichung. They just want the full description so they can watch the CCTVs from there before I file the police report, so they can like help prior to my arrival, which will be a couple hours still. So they ask, and I told them everything, told them that from this point, at this point, my bag was there. At this point, my bag was not. So sometime between this point and this point, someone took my bag. So they were like, okay, thank you for that information. We're gonna go based on that information and contact the previous station, ask them for their CCTV cameras. Aunt is on me. Ask them for their CCTV recordings and update you when you're in Kaohsiung. So I get to Kaohsiung. To be honest, I was not doing so good mentally at that point. Like, I was really just like, I honestly just kind of want to jump in front of the next train, because this, like, what am I gonna do? Like, what am I gonna do? I had so much in cash that I didn't have anymore. How am I gonna report my passport stolen and my credit card stolen from a country I don't live in? How am I gonna get home? Because my keys are in that bag. And then what am I gonna get home to? I don't have any clothes. And what am I gonna wear? And how am I gonna buy clothes, because I don't have a credit card and I don't have any cash? It was just like everything was kind of boiling up, I guess. Like, I don't have any underwear, you know? Like, it was just everything. I had started my period that day too, so like, I didn't even have any pads, you know? So it was just like, everything was not good, to say the least. So I was kind of like, I posted it all on Facebook, started documenting everything, like photo documenting everything, and I was just like, fuck guys, like, I don't know what this means for me. And everyone was super supportive and like super concerned too, because I was kind of like using my humor as a coping mechanism, which is what I always do, but it was like a dangerous kind of thing, because I was really not doing the hottest in the hottest part of the world. So I get to Kaohsiung, and there are police there waiting for me to go to the police office with them. Everything was so organized and structured, honestly. Like, Taiwan is the best place in the world. Okay. So they take me to the police office, and I'm frantically just telling them all about what happened, like repeating everything, like telling them what's in the bag, blah, 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 telling them what it looks like, you know, just the whole thing. And then they asked me what I want to eat. And I was like, bitches, I don't want to eat for days. Like, I am not hungry right now. Don't ask me about food. Like, let's find my backpack. That's the most important thing. That's the thing that'll feed me. I want to eat my backpack, okay? I want to eat your pancreas. That's an anime, by the way. Watch it. Or don't. It's sad. But, I was like, I'm vegan, but honestly, I'm not hungry. So then they're just like, just relax, sit here. And they leave me in this room, and then come back about 30 minutes later with like vegan, they went to a vegan buffet, a vegan Buddhist buffet, and they got me just like an assortment of 6 different, vegan Buddhist foods, which I have a picture of and I'm going to insert it. Oh, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, yeah, okay, this looks good. Yeah. And then, you know, I'm like transported into like a Buddhist paradise. I'm like, oh my God, the eggplant. Oh my God, I still remember how delicious the eggplant was. And then how many times afterwards I got the same thing and ended up just like feasting on Buddhist buffets for the next 2 days. And then 2 years in China. Oh, I love them. So I when they bought me that, I was just like, okay, that's really like caring, and like I appreciate it so much. Like I really, that was so sweet. And so while we're at okay, so I had to go to 2 different places. I had to go to the police station, the passport office, and shoot, I had to go to one more place. Oh my goodness, where did I have to go? There was one other place. Oh man, it was another governmental office, because I had to go to 3 locations. It could have been just a different police station, like the security and the police station. Oh, that's what it was. I went to the proper police station, and then afterwards I had gone to like the security for Kaohsiung trains. Okay, so at the police station, I was just still bawling my eyes out at this point. Like okay, by the way, I am not exaggerating when I say I didn't stop crying for hours. Like even as I was eating, I was like crying because I just kept thinking of everything wrong. Like it would just replay over and over and over, and my phone was dying and I couldn't charge it because my phone charger was in my bag. And I was just like, it's all over, isn't it? It's all over. So we're at the proper police station, and I'm still bawling my eyes out, filing the police report with the police and crying. And then a woman who speaks English, an older lady, gets up and she says, and I quote, okay, so I'm gonna be her, "Oh honey, you're too young to cry. You're too young and pretty to be sad. What's wrong?" And then they explained to her in Mandarin what was wrong. And she was like, "Oh, no. We are going to call your hostel, your hotel, and we're going to tell them to take you." So we called, because that's another thing. I couldn't check into my hotel either because I needed to pay and I needed forms of identification, 2 things I did not have. We called them and they said, "No, we can't help because you need to pay. You need to pay and you need to have ID." They explained, and ultimately it was a no. And she was like, "I can't have this. I can't have a young, pretty little girl like you staying by herself outside. You can stay with me." And everyone was like, and I was so taken back by the sheer kindness and like graciousness. Just, oh my gosh, she was just so altruistic. There we go, that's the word. Like, you don't even know me and you're gonna let me stay with you. Oh my God. And she was like, I'll take care of you. Tell me what you need and I'll get it for you. And I'll cook you a nice meal. And it'll be just like my daughter's back home. My daughter's a student at Taiwan National University. And she's about your age. Wow. You guys would get along great. And so she says, after all this is done, come to my house. And the security guards that I was with that bought me the vegan food, they were like, is this okay with you? Are you okay with staying there? And I was like, oh my God, absolutely. Yes. So they end up getting, okay, so we go back to the security office, and then they plan to take me to her house afterwards. So they said, like, after everything's finished and after we look at CCTVs and once we know what we're doing, we'll drop you off at her place. And I was like, thank you so much, guys. So the next stop was to go to the passport office to register my passport being stolen and to request an immediate temporary passport. Like, it had to be printed that day. So we get there and they're like, oh my God, we close in an hour and tomorrow's a national holiday. Like, if you didn't come right now, we'd be closed and you wouldn't have a passport and you would have to wait till Tuesday to make an appointment. And I was like, this is the second crazy coincidence of this day. Like, 1 hour later, and there would have been no fucking hope. No hope. So that was wild. Anyway, I let them know what happened. They give me a temporary passport. It took a couple hours. No, not a couple hours, like an hour tops. And then told me like what steps I'm gonna need to do when I get back to Korea, because I needed to go to the embassy in Seoul to apply for a new passport so that I could get like the new visa inserted. Oh yeah, because I don't have a visa anymore. Sorry. So we go back to the security, and they're like, okay, so we got a hold of the CCTV footage. Do you want to have a look? And I was like, well, obviously. So I'm watching through. I'm like meticulously watching, just like, who has the backpack? Who has the backpack? And then while I'm watching, 30 minutes in, about, I don't even know time at this point because it's late. The sun was already down, and I had gotten on that train fucking 6 in the morning. So this is already all day. I'm like watching, and then they're like, knock, knock, knock. Megan, they found your bag. And I straight up was like, what? Just like jumped up. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. So apparently, this is what happened. A girl, a year younger than me, or two, I believe she was like 20, saw me with my bag. Did not see me get or like move and sit down, but just saw me and saw my bag was up there. Thought I got off the train. So she took my bag to her station, gave it to the lost and found. Then from my little luggage tag, my little backpack tag, it said my name and email. She found me on Instagram, DM'd me, but it went to my message requests, so I didn't see it. Oh, that makes me sound way more popular than, but this was before the nice setup where it was like one message request. It was where you had to like manually go in and be like messages and then click on the little settings category and then be like requests or whatever. So it was not intuitive at all, and you had to like manually do it. So I don't even know why I checked that, but I was bored, I guess. I checked it, by the way, when I was at the old lady's house. So then, okay, let me just get my thoughts. So I'll get to that story when I'm at her house. So we were just freaking out. They told me it's at the Lost and Found and that we're gonna be able to go and pick it up tomorrow in the morning. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I mean, I'll get on a train now and go to that city. Like, I don't even care. Like, just get, there's a wasp. Okay, it's gone. No. So I am just like, and so anyways, I end up fucking hugging one of the guys, and he was like, hug someone else, hug a girl, because he was just like so embarrassed. But I was like, no, I'm so happy, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. And so I was like hugging him, and then I started hugging everyone, and I was like, thank you guys so much. And but since I wasn't getting my bag back until the next day, they knew I was gonna be cold. So one of the male cops, he was an older man, he gives me his jacket, and he's like, stay warm, and then you can give it back to me tomorrow when you have your stuff. And I was like, oh my god, you guys are all so nice. And I felt so bad because I was just like panic crying the whole time. And so they saw me at my worst, my absolute worst. I was being such a bitch, probably. I was so scared, and I was so sad, and I just had every single emotion. And that day was the day I literally experienced every single emotion in one. From straight up, like, utter despair, to just hyperventilating, to crazy hysterical, to mad grateful, to the most happy I've ever been and most relieved. And then I just started crying because I was so happy. Oh my god. But so they drive me to the old woman's house, and she cooks me some vegan food, and it was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful. I stayed in her daughter's room, and that's when I checked. After I was eating with her, and we were watching like TV together, but it was not in English. But after eating with her, I like went on my phone, and that's when I saw the message, and I was like if I would have checked that prior to everything happening, I would have gotten off the train anyway, and then booked another train to go there, and then went. But I messaged that girl back, and I was like, you don't know what damage you just caused. Like, I appreciate that you were trying to do something nice, but please, please, please never take someone's backpack again. This day has been so incredibly stressful that at one point I literally was contemplating not being alive anymore. That's how bad I was doing and how scared I was. And she sent me this long message just apologizing profusely and saying like, I'm really like, I will never do that again. I never would have thought that would happen. I am so incredibly sorry. I'm like, if there's anything I can do. And I was like, you want to give me money? I'm just kidding. No, I was like, no, just thanks for trying to do something nice, even though it ruined someone's life for a day. So then that night I decided, like, you know what, my trip isn't ruined. Like, obviously things are gonna be okay. I'm gonna get my backpack tomorrow. So I told the old woman I'm just gonna take a walk around and I'm gonna see the city as if I had my backpack and I was staying in my hostel. So she was frightened because she didn't like the idea that I would be alone, but I was like, girl, I've been traveling alone my whole life. Like, that's what I do. I'm always alone. It's what I do. And so she gives me, oh, I have videos of this too. She gives me her scarf and another jacket, and both are so big on me because I'm very tiny, and they were just so big on me. And then I was walking around and it started to rain and I didn't have an umbrella, but you know, fuck it, whatever. I've already had the worst day, so you know, whatever. And she had let me borrow her phone charger to charge my phone up, so I was able to call my dad. And I told him what had happened, and he was freaking out. Like, he was panicking so much. Same as me. And everyone on my Facebook was panicking as well, because they were just like, this saga, what the fuck? And it was all over my Snapchat and all over my like Instagram and my YouTube, like everything. I was just posting it everywhere. I was like, they have to know the saga. And even from Korea, maximum size reached, video saved. Okay, thanks. Even like people that I was working with in Korea, they messaged me and they're like, Megan, this is gonna be okay. Don't worry, we're gonna set up with a donation group. Prior to me getting my backpack back, they were like, we're gonna set up something so that you can have stuff delivered. We're gonna let your school know that you need a new key. We're gonna donate some clothes to you, but we're gonna get it all worked out. Don't worry, don't worry. We're gonna get you a new visa. Everything's gonna be fine. And I was just like, God, everyone is being so fucking nice to me, and I'm like, I don't deserve this. But wow, I'm thirsty. So the next day, I go meet up with another boy. No, actually, I lied. No, I didn't lie. Yeah, the next day, and go and meet up with another boy after I get my backpack back. Once I get my backpack back, it's just the most glorious reunion. I grabbed my backpack and I was like literally kissing it. And we go back to the station because they said they want to have a surprise with me. So we go back to the station and everyone's there and they're like, oh, congratulations, you got your bag back. And I was like, yeah, thanks to you guys. Like, you guys are just phenomenal. And we all took a picture together and they wrote the story, they wrote the story on their Facebook page and I saved it. Oh, sorry, excuse me. And they wrote about how today they feel so proud because they were able to help a foreign girl in huge trouble, and how they were able to confiscate things, and how clearly they are the best security guards. And I was like, I mean, I can attest to that. That is true. You are the best. And I love you all so much. So much. And I have them all as like Facebook friends now. And oh my God, I just appreciated them so much. And so after that, they let the older woman that I was staying with know that I wouldn't be like coming back. By the way, she bought me underwear. Like, she bought me a pair of underwear because she knew that I wouldn't have any. Like, I was just like, every one of you guys is going above and beyond all human expectations, just being so incredibly kind. And that was the day I realized, like, Taiwan is really, really the best place. Like, the people are amazing. I've never met a mean Taiwanese person, and it is by far my favorite country, which got me in so much trouble when I lived in China. But I don't care. They really are. They really are. Nowhere else in the world, I don't think, would do that, would go so far out of their way to help a foreigner that lost her backpack. So, so then I met up with this boy, and we went to, he was vegan and Buddhist as well, so we went to a couple temples and shot like photographs because I had my camera back. And he took me to a vegan Buddhist buffet. We ate there, and then I went to my hostel. No, wait, I think I stayed an additional night at that woman's house. Yeah. Because my hostel stay, sorry about that. My hostel stay was canceled, so I stayed an additional night. I don't know why I thought that we called her. Huh. We called someone. But anyway, so I go back to her house, drop my stuff off, met the boy, blah, blah, blah. And then that night, I was just like in such like oblivion. Like, I was just, not oblivion, just like euphoria. Because I was like, the world worked its wonders. And I think it has everything to do with this Buddhist culture and how everyone is so attached to their community and they want to help each other, and that's just like a way people need to live. And since then, it's just, I've always had my eyes set on Taiwan. Like, I would love to live there, and I hope I can move there as soon as borders reopen, because, you know, COVID. There is a school I really want to work at. It's a Buddhist school, and oh god, it sounds amazing. I want to work there so bad. But borders aren't open right now, so I can't yet. But I will. So, yeah, and when I opened my bag, everything was there, and the next day I was able to get on a flight and fly back to Korea after the most unbelievable, dreamlike 2 days of my life. I mean, that whole month was a dream. I mean, from the Taiwanese love story that I had, that it was literally the most beautiful thing in the world, and I was the happiest I've ever been. Oh, I had every emotion in Taiwan. And then I left, and I was just like, a part of me is always going to be empty if I'm not here. Like, even though I had the worst day of my life here, I also had every single one of the best days of my life here. And there's no other place I want to be. It was, wow. And I got back home, and everything was okay. And there's no real yes, there is. There are so many morals to the story. It's 1, keep track of your shit, for 1. 2, care about each other. Do things for each other. If you see someone in need, help them. Because you will change their life like they changed mine. Really, it's been 2 years and I still have a different outlook. Like, I always want to help people now, because I know how it feels to feel like everything's over, and then people care about you that don't know you, because you are valid and you are worth everything. And I got so lucky, and oh my god. Yeah. So that was the craziest experience of my entire life. I mean, no, that's a lie. I mean, I've had so many crazy experiences, but that's something that I always think about. It's always in the back of my head, like, what's the worst day of your life? The day my backpack was stolen, but then wasn't stolen, but also was. Like, yeah. Anyway, this is way too long, and it is way too hot, and my dog gave up on me too. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. If you didn't get too bored, my Instagram is Megan the Vegan. Follow me there. Bye.